If you've been thinking about moving farther east on Long Island, Suffolk County has a lot to offer. It is where you will find that perfect mix of space, nature, and small town charm, but it is still close enough to the city when you need it. From coastal areas, coastal villages, to vibrant downtowns and historic hamlets in the area, Suffolk County really gives you a little bit of everything that there is to offer in life. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the top 10 places to live in Suffolk County, New York, with real details, not just generic descriptions and just vague descriptions of what's going on. So let's start off with number 10, which is going to be Smithtown, New York. So Smithtown sits right in the middle of Suffolk, and it is one of those towns that has a little bit of everything. It has beaches, parks, shops, and plenty of restaurants. I spend a lot of my time there. One of my favorite restaurants is called Nino's, great pizza. It's one of the biggest draws that you're gonna find here is Caleb Smith State Park, which is a massive stretch of preserved land with trails, fishing, and a nature center. It's perfect if you love the outdoors like I do love myself. Downtown Smithtown has been revitalized in recent years. You're gonna find local breweries, you're gonna find some great brunch spots. They got some great bars. There's a few newer condos mixed in with a lot of classic colonials. There's also easy access to the Long Island Railroad if you're commuting, and you're only about 15 minutes away from the beautiful North Shore beaches, which I love beaches. Okay, Smithtown is that perfect middle ground between suburban life and laid back country living. Number 9, which is very near and dear to my heart, which is going to be Huntington. So Huntington is easily one of the most recognizable names in Suffolk, and for good reason. I spend a majority of my time in Huntington, New York. The downtown area is vibrant. It's loaded with some amazing restaurants, cafes, live music venues, and boutique shops. There's even the Paramount Theater, which regularly brings in big name performers and comedy acts. It's absolutely fantastic. So if you love that Main Street type of energy, but you don't want to live in the city, Huntington gives you that in a very, very walkable setting. You can go out for a date night, take a walk, and just take it all in. There's also Heckshire State Park, which is home to art festivals, summer concerts, and a lot of open air events. Housing in Huntington ranges from cozy Cape-style homes to larger properties tucked into wooded hills, and you're right near Huntington Harbor. So the water views are never far away, and they are absolutely stunning when you get a chance to see them. Number 8 is going to be Sayville. So Sayville sits along the South Shore and has a ton of charm. I've spent a lot of time in Sayville, lived very nearby. At one point, it's one of those towns that feels like a real community. There's a lot of local markets, there's a lot of parades, and a downtown that still has that classic Main Street, Long Island kind of look. So you're also very close to ferries to Fire Island, which makes Sayville a great go-to for anyone who loves summers on the water, like myself. There's Sayville Marina Park for waterfront walks. You can do kayaking, and you can just hang out by the bay, enjoy it, grab some Ralph's Ices. Check that place out, very good, by the way. You have the Long Island Railroad Station, which gives you a straight line into the city. MacArthur Airport is only about 10 minutes away if you need to catch a flight. Sayville is one of those rare places that still feels small town, but has everything that you need close by. Let's talk about number 7. The college town, also known as Stony Brook. So if you want to be a doctor, live in Stony Brook. Stony Brook is known for Stony Brook University, but it is so much more than just a college town. You've got a beautiful harbor area, the Stony Brook Village Center, and you've got the Long Island Museum, which is going to give you the area, it's going to give it a real historic and artsy kind of character. There's also, you have Avalon Park, you have the preserve, and it's one of the nicest spots on the North Shore to go for a peaceful walk, or to, if you enjoy bike riding like I do, it's a great place for that. You'll find great coffee shops, bookstores, and waterfront restaurants that give Stony Brook a cozy intellectual vibe. Also, some of the best dumplings and Asian food that you're going to find in the island. It's a great spot for anyone who loves nature, education, and that relaxed North Shore type of lifestyle. Next is going to be number 6, which is going to be Port Jefferson. Port Jefferson is another North Shore gem that combines small town charm with big personality. Okay, with Port Jefferson, the downtown area is going to feel like something out of a postcard. You've got brick streets, boutique shops, you've got ice cream parlors, and you've got some really, really nice restaurants overlooking the harbor. And I've got to say, it is something very special. You've got the Port Jefferson Ferry that takes you across to Bridgeport, Connecticut, and the waterfront is always busy with events, farmers, you've got markets, you've got music nights, you name it, it's there. The homes in Port Jefferson are typically going to be like those historic Victorians on the hills. You also can find some newer builds near the water. It's one of those towns where you could park your car for the weekend and have everything. Okay, you've got restaurants, you've got marinas. Yeah, it's a very vibrant boat life area there, and even a brewery, all within walking distance. So number 5 on this list is going to be Babylon Village. So I love Babylon. Grew up spending a lot of time there. Babylon is one of my personal favorites because it's got that perfect South Shore balance of energy and comfort. You've got Argyle Park. The area is absolutely beautiful. You've got ponds, you've got fountains, you've got walking paths. It's like a built-in backdrop for evening strolls. You've got the Babylon Long Island Railroad Station, which makes commuting ridiculously easy. It's a direct line straight into Penn Station. One of the best lines to get into the city is the Babylon line. Downtown Babylon has a great mix of restaurants, boutiques. It's got a lot of nightlife, but without that overcrowded, claustrophobic kind of feel. You're close to beaches, very close to Robert Moses Beach. You're near marinas, and the vibe in Babylon is very welcoming, and it's a very peaceful area. Babylon is the kind of town where people spend Saturday mornings at the local cafe, and they're gonna spend their evenings down by the water watching the sunset at Robert Moses State Park, which is one of my favorite places to go to. Number 4 is gonna be Northport. I love Northport. Gino's Pizza, amazing. Northport is one of the most picturesque waterfront towns on Long Island, hands down. Okay, the downtown area has cobblestone sidewalks. It has that kind of old-fashioned, it is an old-fashioned candy shop over there, a harbor park, and a pier that looks like it's straight out of something that you would see in a movie, right? You also have this place called Engelman Theater. Engelman Theater is kind of like a professional playhouse that puts on year-round performances. That's something that you don't get in every town, so Northport is very unique for that. And if you're into boating, you're into the boating scene, I love boating. Northport Harbor is one of the prettiest on the island. It's the kind of place that feels peaceful, but alive, right? It is a strong sense of local pride. There's a lot of events that happen in the area, and the scenery just honestly never gets old. Northport's a great area. Number 3, Patchogue. I love Patchogue. I lived in Patchogue for a while, and it's got a special place in my heart. Patchogue has gone through a massive transformation over the past decade, and I have seen that myself. It's changing so much. What used to be a very sleepy town has become one of Suffolk's most exciting towns. You've got the Blue Point Brewery, you've got the Patchogue Theater, you've got a huge lineup of restaurants and constant community events. There's a great brunch spot called Toast. By the way, go there. They close at 3 p.m. and it gets very packed. So you've got to get there. Trust me, it's great. It's also a hub for the arts, galleries, lifestyle. You got murals. It's a lot of creative fun, and it's full of life. The housing typically is going to be a lot of older colonials to newer loft style apartments when you get closer to Main Street, which is the heartbeat of the town. It's got that modern, young, professional energy while still keeping its Long Island roots intact. If you want a place where you can walk around and there's a lot of nightlife without having to move closer to the city, then Patchogue is going to be one of the best places to go. Number 2 is going to be Cold Spring Harbor. I love this area of Manhattan, the Long Island. Cold Spring Harbor might be very small, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, it is lined up right along the water. It is surrounded by rolling hills and natural preserves. You've got Cold Spring Harbor State Park, which has great hiking, which I love to do, and the Whaling Museum, which tells the story of Long Island's early maritime history. So there's a lot of history on Long Island, and it's a great place to go to learn about that. The village itself has a lot of cozy cafes, antique shops, and a few really good restaurants. It feels like a weekend getaway, even when you live there full time. It's really the kind of place that feels calm, peaceful, but not remote. And it's also not too far out east, so you're close to the city. And the sunsets over the harbor are beautiful. And number 1, we gotta go with the Hamptons. Okay, so we're talking about Southampton, East Hampton, and the surrounding villages. I'm sure you've heard of the Hamptons unless you're living under a rock. You can't talk about Suffolk County without mentioning the Hamptons. So let's break it down a little bit. When people think about the Hamptons, you know, they're typically thinking about vacation homes. They're thinking about summer getaways. They're thinking about all the movies. But there's a lot of year-round life, community, and strong community presence in the Hamptons. You have Southampton Village, which has a classic downtown kind of feel with a lot of boutiques. You have art galleries, and you have restaurants that stay open all year. You've got Cooper's Beach, often ranked as one of the best beaches in America. I believe it's the #1 ranked beach in New York and Long Island particularly. You've got East Hampton, which brings that mix of sophistication and old coastal charm. It's a very walkable downtown with some incredible food scene. You've got picture perfect streets. And then you have surrounding areas like Bridgehampton, Sag Harbor, and Amagansett, which each has its own different type of energy. Sag Harbor, one of my favorites. I've spent a lot of time there. In particular, this place has one of the best marinas on the island, and it has an incredible mix of history and culture. So living there year round, you would really be able to experience a very quiet type of environment and a more local side of what most people only see. You're going to see much more than you just see in the summer. So the Hamptons are actually not only just for vacationers, but they're for anyone who wants a natural beauty, an open space, and a unique coastal lifestyle. The Hamptons is much more than all the hype that you see in the movies. It's really just a quiet, beautiful place, good place for bike riding, hiking, and things like that. A few other Suffolk towns that are worth keeping on your radar. One neighborhood in particular that's coming to my mind right now is Bay Shore, which has a fantastic downtown, has ferry access to Fire Island. Mount Sinai and Miller Place are also both great North Shore communities, a little bit further out there, but great areas with strong local pride and access to a lot of beaches and parks. And of course, West Hampton Beach is an amazing alternative if you want Hampton style living, but a little bit less hectic, especially in the summertime. Each of these towns really is gonna have its own type of energy, its own story, depending on what type of lifestyle that you're after. So whether that's beaches, whether that's downtown living, whether that's country quiet, you will find your fit somewhere in Suffolk County. It is a great place to live. In my opinion, one of the best places to live in the country. Okay, so Suffolk County is massive. Okay, it is over 900 square miles, and no two areas are the same. You've got farmland, you've got beaches, you've got the downtown life, you've got quiet back roads, woods, hiking, bike trails, beaches, all within the same county. One of the only places in the world that you're gonna find that. The best way to choose where to live is to spend time exploring it. Okay, so walk the main streets, go and grab some coffee, drive the local roads, see how it feels, try some restaurants out, use ChatGPT, try to find some places to go. Each town has its own rhythm, and the one that matches yours is the one where you are ultimately going to feel at home at. So if you found this video, don't stop here, okay? Click the video on the screen right here to join my free webinar called From Hesitant to Homeowner. Okay, how smart buyers win in any market. So once again, click that video right there, right now. And I look forward to seeing you all in that webinar. Take care.